Hello, MGTOW. Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So I want to talk about some of the differences between men and women, because we live in an age where socially they want to pretend that men and women are the same so that women can get the benefits of being a man without doing the work or handling the responsibility of being a man. So consider right from the beginning, little boys and little girls are acting differently. Little boys are oriented towards things, fire trucks, any little knickknack that they can pick up in their hands and look at and put in their mouth and turn it around a few times. Little girls are, of course, fascinated with other human beings and their faces and their expressions. In a lot of my research for my videos here, I come across women talking about having children, and the women are upset when they have sons, disappointed, because they, wanted somebody to look at their face and to, make noises in their direction. I'm suggesting that it's kind of trivial. I actually was going out with a single mother many, many years ago, and she shared with me that when she realized that she had a son, she wept, she cried. And I asked her why. And it was, that reason, because she had wanted a little girl so that she could dress her up and, play doll with her and things like that. And, I thought, wow, that's really sad. That's really unfair for the little boy to not really be wanted. And of course, I was treated, with the same thing. Like all the guys who are hearing this are thinking, "Oh, that's too bad." But no, that's what happened to most of you as well. And this is why my videos are not so easily approved, through YouTube. Why different types of videos are a little easier and a little bit more popular. So yeah, your mother didn't really love you if you're a boy. Sorry. So I tried to convince her, no, having a boy is good, right? Because when the boy gets older, he'll, help you out. He'll actually kind of be responsible in your old age for you, right? And she was like, no, I don't care. Yeah, she was crazy. That relationship did not last long. Actually, well, it did last about a year. So there you go. Don't date single mothers, guys. Just don't do it. There was no way that relationship could work. She was crazy. And the situation was really quite good at the time, So, I was making plenty of money at the time, but there was no way that relationship could continue. She was crazy. I think I've mentioned this before. She was insanely jealous, you know what I mean? Like any other woman just moving around in the area would set her off. And it wasn't like, passionate jealousy. It was like psychotic, neurotic jealousy that would make her weird, even stranger. So yeah, we had to shut that one down. So there's one difference right there. So that's one basic, fundamental difference. I want to talk about another difference because I believe that it's really important in this day and age. And that is how the man and the woman get by within a work environment. And when I say a work environment, I'm talking about, I'm really just talking about reality. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be at work. It could just be how they get through their day, because there's a fundamental difference. And, I'm not talking about all men, and I'm not talking about all women either, because there's some men, they don't do a good job. They're emotional. They get into interpersonal conflicts with people. They develop personality problems with other people. But most men, they do their work. They do a job. They know that if they don't, they're going to get fired. And that makes them, do a decent job and behave in a decent manner. But women, they don't have that. They're not like that at all. They're not trying to get by based on their results and their ability here in reality. And it's a fundamental difference. Now, I've spoken about this in a lot of my videos concerning MGTOW, men at work, because it's really quite unfair to put the men and the women into the work environment and then to say to the men, oh, you're going to be judged on your results, on how many sales you get. And you're going to be judged on how well the women like you and how well you fit into the corporate culture. Because these two things, they're incompatible. The great salesman is usually a bit of an asshole, and people generally don't like him because he's pushy, he's aggressive, he asserts his own views over other people. He tries to lead people in the direction where he wants them to go. And he really doesn't have very many problems offending other people. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a joke. And, he uses it. Whereas if the women, they're exactly the opposite. They actually get by more on their relationships and the emotions, interacting emotionally with people. I don't want to interact emotionally with people. If people try to interact with me emotionally, I put them at a distance. I hold them off at an arm's length, even with other men, right? Like sometimes I can tell that some guy is upset with me, in some way. Like he's not telling me what's wrong, but, he's clearly angry and upset. And, I don't give him much time at all. You know what I mean? Even if I respect them quite a lot, I'll, be like, hey, what's up? And that's it. If he doesn't say, oh, you said da-da-da the other day, it made me, angry. I don't think you should have said it. I would like, an apology or something, whatever. If he doesn't come forth with it right away, that's like, oh, well, forget about it. Let him be upset. I have work to do. And, maybe if he wants to talk about it at some point, he can talk about it. But hopefully he'll just let it go. And, the reason why I do that is years of experience learning that it's a terrible way for a man to interact. It's a terrible way for a man to live. It's a terrible way for a man to look at the world. It really is. And understand that from an evolutionary point of view, men have to and have overcome this connection with their emotions. In other words, how do you feel about going out and hunting a bear? And the answer is, if you think about it, you're probably a little scared about it, right? And men hate that. So they don't dwell on it. And then, they substitute. They would rather be angry than to be afraid. This is why all men's emotions boil down to anger. You know what I mean? Eventually, all of the emotions just get transmuted over to anger because they don't want to deal with the other aspect of it. Like, what's the hunter going to, start to cry and express his nervousness? That's absurd. He will not be an effective hunter if that's what he's doing. So, a little bit, put a bit of an edge on what he's doing, but that's about it. And he knows that because if he's lucky, he's gone out before with too much emotion and he's done something stupid. Even something as simple as like lifting a heavy weight. If you put too much emotion into it, you'll hurt yourself for a man, right? Like you need this combination of energy, urgency, passion. And at the same time, you need awareness, the ability to adjust, in the moment, on the fly, and to respond appropriately to the situation that you're in. If you use too much emotion, you'll do something foolish. If you don't use enough emotion, you might not have, the drive behind what you're doing. So that's, what the man is doing. He's always balancing this ability, this need to be effective in reality and, to express what's going on within him, which is much less important. As a matter of fact, that has to be kept under control and under wraps most of the time. That's more like an energy source. That's more like heating up a boiler to drive up the pressure. It's not the most important thing. Whereas if, the most important thing is the results that the man is looking to get in the physical world. Whereas if for the women, it's exactly the opposite, isn't it? She's not so concerned. This is why women don't build skyscrapers. This is why women don't build bridges. This is why women don't invent new sciences. This is why women don't go into fields where it's very controversial, where they have to be independent. That's, let the men do that. And we do, right? But you want to pretend that the men and the women are the same, that they have the same qualities. When, the women are wrapped in their emotions. They're stuck in their emotions. That's why things like the MeToo hashtag are so important. That's why we're paying so much attention to, the women's concerns emotionally online. So it's very difficult to be effective as a practical man in this day and age when you're surrounded mostly by women and mostly by people who are catering to the women and who have adopted, a female mindset in a work environment. And this is why it's unfair to put them both into the same environment. Because the men they're not concerned with people's emotions or their feelings. They are focused on getting results. They will be dismissive towards anybody who is overly emotional. And rightly so. You can't have a nervous breakdown while you're out there hunting a bear. You just can't. And if you do, you will be no more. So those types of men, they don't really get to reproduce, right? We don't actually come from those men. In any case, I'm going to leave it at that for now. So let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. And please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.